Good afternoon and welcome to Huskins Field for another edition of JumboCast. This afternoon we're bringing you Tufts baseball taking on the Keene State Owls. My name is Bernie Birnbaum and I'm alongside my brother and we'll be bringing you the action this afternoon. Freddie, welcome to the broadcast. What do you have this afternoon?
Well, we've got Keene State Owls and Tufts Jumbos, as you said, both coming off of doubleheaders from yesterday. Tufts won both of their doubleheaders, both games of the doubleheader, and played very well. Keene State lost both games. In their second game, they brought it to a close 8-7 with 2 home runs. So we know they are capable of some offense. Interesting note on that, though, is that both of their home runs, maybe we'll see them come in later in the game as pinch hitters.
Yeah, perhaps looking to pick their spots there with their powerful at-bats. What is interesting perhaps today is, these teams have played a lot of baseball this weekend. We mentioned both teams have played doubleheaders yesterday. Keene also played on Friday. This is 4 ball games in 3 days for them. Tufts played 13 innings yesterday in the doubleheader. And so we're not getting the top of the rotation. We're getting, for Tufts, we're going to look at Tim Superco. I said I wasn't going to make that mistake. Superco's got 4 starts so far in the season. His first start of the season was an impressive 7-inning outing against St. Vincent. Gave up no runs, just 1 hit and 12 strikeouts, but since then it's been a little bit rougher. He's pitched a total of 11 innings since then, giving up 10 earned runs in those. And so it'll be interesting to see what we get out of Tim this afternoon.
Yeah, look forward to seeing that. Also, the pitcher for Keene State, Alan Schiff, has had 4 starts for a total of 15.1 innings, but he's given up a lot of hits, 26 and 22 runs. But he does get a lot of strikeouts. So if he can get his strikeouts early before he gives up hits, it looks like he could be a solid pitcher for Keene State.
Yeah, but he faces a tough challenge when you look at the Tufts lineup. Coming into the weekend, Tufts 10th batting average in all of D3, 5th in on-base percentage, and 1st overall in scoring per game, averaging over 10 runs per game. Now with the scoring just 9 and 4 runs respectively in the games yesterday, that total's fallen a little bit. But it's probably going to be pretty tough for the Owls to limit the Jumbo's offense.
Definitely, especially if we see an inning like they had against Trinity.
Yeah, last weekend against Trinity in the second game of a doubleheader, when after dropping the first, the Jumbos absolutely went off, scoring 15 runs in a single inning against the Bantams, and just shows they're unrelenting. The Owls, on the other hand, have been on the receiving end. I think it was just yesterday, it might have been Friday, they gave up 12 runs in a single inning. So don't be too shocked if we see double figures put up in the space of just 1/2 inning this afternoon.
Definitely. Lineups are being read out.
Yeah, so if you're wondering, we're just having official first pitch time was supposed to be 1 o'clock, and we've got a little bit of a delayed start. Just warm-ups went a little long. I think everybody's enjoying the beautiful weather. Easily the nicest day we've had out here in Medford all year. I'd go as far as to say that. What do you think?
Definitely, at least since the fall when the year started. Definitely this calendar year.
Calendar year is what I was going for. So let's take you through the starting lineups for the visiting Keene State Owls. Leading off at shortstop, we've got Max Struthers, batting second, playing second base. Tom Musey, first base, batting third. Connor Longley, fourth and designated hitter. Number 15, Colby Regioni, batting fifth, third base, wearing number 7. Is Christian Bourget, batting sixth, playing right. Number 35, Devin Springfield, 7th, playing left field. Number 32, David Savigny, catcher, batting 8th is number 30. That's Nate Rossi, playing center. Batting ninth, that's number 23, Zach Rollins, and starting, as we said, is number 13, Alan Schiff. For the home Jumbos, well, we'll get you that when they're coming up to bat. For now, we've got the national anthem.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time we ask you to please rise to remove your caps, direct your attention to the flag out in left field, as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And a smattering of applause for that recording of the national anthem. You know, I've always found it somewhat awkward to applaud for the recording, but, you know, it's each their own.
One might say they're applauding for the country, rather.
And what a great country it is. Let's take you through the defensive alignment for Tufts. And the outfield from left to right, we've got McLaughlin, Brown, and Cooch. From left to right on the infield, O'Hara at third, Shackelford at short, Petrie at second, and Foxon at first. The battery for today, you can see him warming up, is Tim Superco being caught by the catcher, Ryan Day. Across the way, already in action, the Tufts softball team wrapping up their series against the Colby Mules, up 7-0 halfway through the fourth. Yesterday they put up a 19 against the Mules in the first game, winning that one 19-1. And that's in just 5 innings. There is a mercy rule. I don't think there's a mercy rule in NCAA baseball, but in softball they, I guess, for whatever reason, have decided, you know, why make this thing continue when it gets to a certain point? But over here at the Baseball Diamond, we'll be playing the full 9 innings.
And across the way, following the softball game, there'll be another one against the Bates Bobcats, and we'll give you periodic score updates.
Yeah, so unfortunately, and we digress while we wait for the infield warm-ups, JumboCast was scheduled to cover 4 softball games this season, and as it stands, we're going to end up not doing any at all just because of weather. They kept getting pushed and rescheduled, and we're going to have to settle for a slate of baseball. But here we are. We're about to get underway. Max Struthers has stepped up to the plate. Here's Tim Superco to get things underway. The pitch taken for call strike 1, and the ball game has started.
Struthers has the most at-bats on the Keene State team, the 84.
One might expect that from a leadoff hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the 0-1. Swung on, grounded to short. Bobbled, he can't come up with it, and that's going to get a base runner to lead off for the Keene State Owls. Surely an error on the shortstop, Shackelford.
It's not a great way to start the game for the Jumbos defense. Looked like it could have been a routine ground ball, and he couldn't come up with it.
So up now we've got Tom Musey, man on first. Spurko checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Taken for a ball. Probably on the inside part of the plate. Or off the inside part of the plate, I should say. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, fouled back to the backstop.
There's a little bit of wind, nothing like we saw yesterday, but a little bit blowing from left to right.
And blowing a little out, too.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on. And Spurko had him fooled on the ball that dived. And Spurko has a chance to get the first out of the game here. 1-2 pitch coming up. Checks the runner.
Did a little bit of a double take there.
Yeah, and I don't think Struthers is going anywhere. The 1-2. Swung on in the dirt, and he's got nowhere to go. The runner at first, so that's a strikeout and the first out of the game. So Spurko recovers from the leadoff error to get the next batter.
The first baseman, number 30.
That'll bring up Connor Longley, the first baseman. Longley comes in with a .346 batting average, takes the first pitch outside. There's the 1-0. Swung on, back to the backstop. And early in this inning, Spurko's been doing a good job of getting batters to swing at pitches outside the strike zone. And the pitch that dove low, swung over and to strike out a second batter. Now this one's grounded to second, double play opportunity, over to short, on to first, and the inning's over.
Well executed by the defense there. No more errors.
Yeah, and turning the, making the turn there, Shackelford sort of amends for his error, and 3 up and 3 down at the end of the day for Spurko, works around the error. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on base for the Keene State Owls, and we'll await the home first.
Mm-hmm.
So let's give you the lineup while we're here. Leading off, it'll be Tom Petrie, the second baseman. Batting second is Oscar Kuch, who's playing right today. Batting third, Tommy O'Hara, the third baseman. Batting fourth, number 32, Nick Faulkson, playing first. In the 5-hole, that's number 31, Mike McLaughlin, today playing left. DH batting seventh, wearing number 7, is Malcolm Nachmanoff. That's number 6 rather. In the 7-hole, that's number 15, the center fielder Harry Brown. Batting 8th, catching number 23, Ryan Day. And batting last is number 1, the shortstop Will Shackelford. So to lead off the first will be Petrie, Kuch, and O'Hara. Petrie, the senior, comes in batting a solid .361. But what's impressive, I mentioned in the top of the game that Jumbo's coming into the weekend at the 10th best batting average in the country, is that they don't have any of the top 10 players in terms of batting average. The closest they have is, I think, if I recall correctly, who was it? They've got one batter who is ranked 11th. Don't recall who it was, but that shows that it's the team as a whole. You got a lot of guys batting over 300. There's not really a weak spot in the lineup. Nobody really you can pitch around.
I actually think that batter is Will Shackelford. He's got a .462 batting average. Looks like the highest on the team.
you know, those kinds of numbers aren't unheard of for college ball. But Petrie's leading off, takes the first pitch low for a ball. And calls strike, brings the count to 1-1. And Schiff is working quickly. Here's the 1-1. Lined in a right. That's going to be a base hit. Taking the turn and retreating to the bag is Petrie. And the Jumbos match Keene State, leading off with a base runner. We'll see if they can do more than the Owls did.
This is a solid single. Well hit.
So here's Oscar Kuch with the man on first, checks the runner. Petrie gets back in.
Petrie has a few stolen bases this season, so there's a little bit of a threat, but we'll see how he goes.
First pitch from Schiff is swung on by Petrie. We've got matching 13s on the mound and at the plate at the moment. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, popped behind third base, and Bourget is not going to get to it.
He had a bad angle on that, trying to run back and catch over his shoulder, and he just did not get close enough to make a play.
Yeah, I thought off the bat he might have a shot at it, but it ended up dropping about 10 feet beyond his reach. So it's 0-2 now, with Schiff ahead of Kuch. Schiff working a lot slower now with the man on first. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, through the shortstop and into center field. We'll see how that's scored. Glanced off of Struthers. Play that could have been a double play had it been played cleanly.
Looks like he definitely could have gotten that, but it went right past the edge of his glove.
It's been ruled a hit. So that'll bring up Tommy O'Hara now with a runner in scoring position, no out. And Owls in an early jam. O'Hara swinging first pitch, grounds to second, takes it to the bag himself, and on to first for a double play.
Nice defensive play by the Owls there. Similar to the play we saw by the Jumbos defense, but without the strikeout of the second batter, Tufts now have a runner on third.
Yeah, but with 2 outs, got to think that O'Hara was hoping for more. Swinging aggressively at the first pitch and gave Schiff a gift. And now he's an opportunity to get out of the inning unscathed. Nick Faulkson batting cleanup. Looks at the first pitch in the dirt. Bourget not holding Petrie on at third. Here's the 1-0, looked at outside. And the fielding is straight up. Infield slightly deep on the 2-0, looked at in the dirt. And Faulkson's ahead 3-0.
With this kind of count, he can definitely wait on it and wait for a good pitch he wants, or take a walk if that's what comes his way.
Yeah, hard to think that he'd be swinging on 3-0 unless he sees something incredibly juicy. Here's the pitch. Taken outside for ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk issued to Nick Faulkson.
The left fielder, number 31, Mike McLaughlin.
So McLaughlin will come up now, runners at the corners, 2 outs. Schiff already inducing a double play in the inning, but now in danger of letting it go.
McLaughlin with a .392 batting average. He's got 11 RBIs on the season, looking to push that up.
And a called strike. So Schiff has regained the strike zone. 0-1 now. Taken in the dirt, smothered by Rossi. Nobody's going anywhere.
Good job keeping that in front of them. If it had gotten past, definitely would have seen Foxen running for second.
Yeah, he's had to make a few of those stops. Nothing too wild, but not every ball's finding the mitt here. So we got 1-1 now. 2 outs, bottom of the first. Runners at the corners. Pitch grounded. Fair territory, fielded by the on to first, and that's a 2-3 put out to end the inning. It's going to be 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 runners left on base for the Jumbos, and that'll do it for the first.
Jumbos showed that they could definitely hit Schiff here, but they couldn't put anything together to run yet. But they're definitely feeling happy that they were able to get a couple hits out in the first inning and settle into the opposing pitcher.
Now, you know, I don't know about you, Freddie, but I've personally been, hyping up this game, the debut of the brother and brother commentary team. Now, for those folks at home, and I'm sure the audience today is made up disproportionately of our friends and family. I'm a senior here at Tufts, and my brother's a freshman, and when he said, he committed to come here, I said, all right, you got to join JumboCast, at least try it out, see if you like it, and we're going to do at least one game together. Now, I figured, because you played soccer back in the day, I figured that, we'd get on a soccer game. Maybe you'd find JumboCast was or wasn't your thing, but, I had fairly low expectations, and here we are. You've been a proud member. You're sporting the JumboCast polo, and this is the first game we've gotten to do together here in the spring out at the baseball diamond.
Yeah, well, as you said, I played some soccer in high school, 3 years on my high school team. And when I got here, I knew I would have to do some sort of JumboCast. I don't think Bernie would let me get away with not. And so I started out with the soccer games. I did all of the women's games, and I liked it and stuck around. Here we are.
And leading off the second, that's going to be Regioni for the Owls. Takes first pitch low from Spurko. 1-0 on the way, swung over.
Something we heard a lot yesterday and are continuing to hear today is the Tufts dugout is very loud, shouting encouragement before and after every pitch.
Here's the 1-1 from Spurko. Popped up. It's going to come way out of play. No chance. Lands not quite in the parking lot, but Foxen was obstructed by the batting cages. We've got a 1-2 count now. Well, yeah, our position over here is directly above the Tufts dugout. We are standing on the Tufts dugout, so any noise, we'll pick it up over here. 1-2 on the way. Swung on, grounded to third, fielded there, popped up into the bare hand, and over to first. O'Hara to Foxen for the 5-3 putout.
The third baseman, number 7, Christian Bourget.
Lots of contact this game. Only the one strikeout for Tufts in the first inning, and lots of foul balls and balls in play on both sides.
Wouldn't surprise me if this being an out-of-conference game, as Bourget steps to the plate. He looks at a ball low. If these teams playing a combined now, this being, the fourth game of the weekend for the Owls, third for the Jumbos, if they just want to swing away, get this game in the books, it's a non-conference. Ball taken outside.
Yeah.
Some of the games yesterday for Tufts, especially the second game, it was a blazer finishing in an hour 45. Of course, playing only 6.5 innings will help, but even so, a quick pace. 2-0 now, swung on, knocked down by Spurko into no man's land, and there's not going to be a play.
Superco had the presence of mind to try to get a glove on that, but couldn't control it and ended up knocking it to no one. And we'll have a runner on first.
That's going to be ruled a hit, and I like that call. I think it was certainly playable by Superco, but you can't, the threshold, expect that play to be made. And I think that's a good ruling that's a hit, infield hit for Bourget. That'll bring up Springfield with a man on first and one out. Bounced, runner stays.
Springfield's coming into the day with a .338 batting average and could pose a threat here.
Certainly, well, runners on in both innings now as Springfield takes a strike, brings the count to 1-1. Superco not nearly as worried about Bourget now as he was about Struthers in the first inning. And he comes set, delivers. Springfield gets a piece of it.
One bounced back at the umpire.
Yeah, I got to think that one was a changeup, the way Struthers was out ahead of it, managing to just barely get a piece. So 1-2 now. Spurco looking for a second strikeout. At first, a conversation.
Superco seems to be doing pretty well throwing strikes here, but Jay must have had something to say to him.
Yeah, baseball is fairly unique in that it's a sport where you can pretty much take unlimited timeouts just about whenever you want them. So why not utilize that luxury?
Make sure everyone's on the same page.
Here's the 1-2 now. And on first, one out. Spurco delivers. Grounded, down to first, steps on first, throws to second. And Bourget is safe. That would have had to have been a tag play. I think the ball was there in time. What do you make of that decision by Foxon to take the out at first before going down to second rather than trying the 3-4-3?
I think he probably could have had the runner at second in the force out, but I don't think they would have had time for the double play. I think he took the safe out and then went for the bonus. Could have done it the other way, but he definitely made an okay decision.
I tend to agree, but it's the first runner in scoring position for the Owls as Servigny takes a first pitch strike.
Could also be a show of trust in his pitcher that'll put this guy away and not let that runner come home.
0-1 pitch taken high and outside. Well, shortstop and second baseman are pinching in just a shortstop really, pinching in a little to keep the runner honest at second. Not too much of a threat to run, I wouldn't think. Spurco delivers the 1-1 high.
Interesting note on the stats for Savigny is he's listed as a pitcher on the Keene lineup, but today he's playing left field, so versatility shown here.
He takes the 2-1 for a strike. One strike away from getting out of the inning. Dugout shouting encouragement to the pitcher. Looks at second, delivers, swung on and missed, strike three. And the inning is over. So one hit for the Owls, no runs, no errors, and just one runner left on base. And Spurco, 2 clean frames so far. And that'll bring up the bottom of the second. We're going to see Nachmanoff, Brown, and Day.
So far, lots of base runners, but no score. Interesting start to the game.
Moving along quickly, but Well, we'll see. Well, this will be Schiff's first crack at the middle bottom part of the Tufts lineup.
I expect we'll see a lot more runs in the coming innings, probably from both sides if they keep up the number of base runners they. We've had base runners in at all of the half innings so far, so it's likely that someone will get a lucky hit and put someone home.
We are seeing a degree of aggressiveness from the Tufts hitters, at least we did in the first, that we didn't particularly see yesterday. Every at-bat yesterday pretty much seemed taking the first pitch, making the pitcher throw a strike. We saw some of the Tufts batters attack the first pitch, try and put a little fear of God into the pitcher, Alan Schiff.
Number 7, Malcolm Nachmanoff.
And we got Malcolm Nachmanoff leading off, the designated hitter for the Jumbos.
He's coming in with a .273 batting average.
Takes first pitch strike. It's a pitch. Taken outside, 1-1.
Nachmanoff strikes out more times than his teammates who have more at-bats, so it seems he is a bigger risk of doing that. Here swinging, go foul.
I don't think we hit any vehicles that time. It always seems like more cars ought to get hit than do. I think we played the entire doubleheader yesterday without breaking a windshield. Nachmanoff swings on the 1 and 2, fouls it back.
Fielded well in the Owls dugout over there, but they don't get extra points for that.
Here's the 1-2. Check swing. Checking down to the umpire at first base. He didn't go. I tend to agree with that call. From my vantage point right here, I'm basically looking at home plate straight across the top of the plate. Not sure anybody has a better vantage point on whether he broke the plane, and he did not on that swing. I concur. 2-2. Swung on. In the air, caught in the fly by the second baseman, Musey.
Easy play there.
One away.
Not much mustard on that hit.
The center fielder, number 15, Harry Brown.
Harry Brown now, the center fielder, batting 7th for Tufts.
Got a .267 average.
Swung on, sky to right, coming over into foul territory and just missing it by a couple of feet as Springfield.
Looks like he could have had that maybe if he, maybe a one step away on that one, but did not die for it, not trying to get hurt.
Yeah, what I wish we had StatCast on that one to get the first pitch, the first step time.
Well, as you know here at JumboCast, we have limited capabilities. Only one camera working today.
Well, any of you D3 NESCAC folks watching, equip Huskins with StatCast. 0-1 now, taking low. Yeah, I think there are other things that might need to happen first, but I mean, we've got the MLB dimensions over here at Huskins. Why can't we have the MLB technology? 1-1, taken for a strike.
With those resources, I think our first step might be a center field cam.
Well, there
Points
is a
it back.
center field camera. The problem that we have, and we'll get into this maybe later, 1-2 pitch, taken inside, laying off. You know, there is a camera out there used by the team, but it's the longest cable we have is 330 feet. So we can't get out there with our cables. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And not taking advantage of the opportunity to take first base with the drop third strike, and Brown will take a seat.
The catcher, number 23, Ryan Day.
So 2 outs for Schiff. He can get the first 1-2-3 inning if he can put away Ryan Day right here batting in the 8-hole.
Ryan Day's a freshman, so new to the team. He's batting 182 average coming into the game.
First pitch taken for a strike.
This is interesting. This is only his 5th game he's played and his 12th at bat.
Well, he grounds it down to third, bobbled by the third baseman. He's going to beat it out. First baseman loses it, but Day is going to stay right where he is, backed up by the catcher, Rossi. So interesting to see whether that's ruled a hit or an error. It goes up as an error. I'd have to agree with that call.
Definitely should have had that at the third base without the bobble. He was out by a lot.
So error attributed to Bourget, and that'll let Tufts turn the lineup around. Third at the plate.
Shackelford coming in as one of the better offensive players with a 462 batting average.
Man on first. 1-0 pitch. Grounded down to short. He bobbles it. Can't get the out, and everybody's safe.
And that's going to be another error.
Yeah, just a sloppy infield sequence. Struthers had the opportunity for the easy out, about 3 feet away, just a quick toss to Musi. Couldn't make that happen. Didn't even get the ball up and out in time to get it over to first, and the runners are the Jumbos are suddenly threatening now. First and second, 2 out in the bottom of the second. And the top leadoff man, Petrie, is coming up for the second time this game. Takes a called strike, showed bunt. When that threat was. Petrie led off the game with a single to right, made it to third base before the Jumbos were run out of the inning. Another hit now would surely put the first run on the board. As Schiff spins and takes a look at second.
Schiff was looking back a lot at him, but there was no defensive player near the bag there, which allowed Day to take a hefty lead.
Second baseman's taunting. Here's the 0-1 taken outside. 1-1.
Again, Day is making it pretty far down towards third base, threatening to steal if any ball gets awry.
Here's 1-1 now. Schiff trying to get out of a jam manufactured by his infield. 1-1 taken for a ball. Counts 2-2. Petrie awaits the 2-1 pitch. Here it comes. Swung on, line to second, and it's caught. The inning starts and ends the same way with liner to second, and the threat is averted by the Owls. So no runs, no hits, 2 errors against Keene State, and both men left on base in the half inning. That'll take us to the third.
I don't think Musi had to move at all to catch that one. Just put up his glove.
Yeah, but Petrie's seeing Schiff's pitches pretty well. If he gets a third crack, you got to think he's a pretty solid threat to get a base hit, if not more.
We've seen a lot of base runners, but if we look at the scoreboard on the screen right now, you see just as many hits as errors in total.
And here we are, the
broadcast team.
Now, for those of you who don't know us well, I'd be interested to see tweet at us. Tell us which one you think is older. Is it the wise old guy with the beard? Oh, I think I already gave it away earlier in the broadcast.
You did. You did say what grade you were in and what grade I was in.
Well,
but we'll see if anyone was listening closely.
If you weren't paying attention, maybe you might struggle on that one. But yeah, tweet Tufts JumboCast. We might put the tweet up on the screen. I know we've got a rookie director in there right now, Alec Whipple, the incoming general manager. He's there to replace me.
congrats to him for winning that election.
Yes, indeed. He's going to succeed very much in the next year. And but I'm not sure if he's been told how to operate the Twitter machine yet. So you can send us tweets as long as Alex in the booth there. I'm not sure whether or not we'll be able to put the tweets on the screen. Maybe Alec will surprise me. But anyway, we're back underway. Pop-up coming directly over our heads here on the first pitch.
Woo!
And that hit right off the press box. Basically,
Top of the press box, maybe 5 feet behind me.
If the roof hadn't been there, Alec Whipple, well, we might have needed a new general manager. That's all I'll say.
Smiling at us, happy he did not get hit with that one.
As Rossi awaits the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed 0-2.
Now, for those of you who tuned in yesterday, you'd know that this spot has gotten a couple foul balls in the past 2 days, so we are keeping our eyes open.
0-2 taken low. Spurko couldn't get Rossi to chase. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Rossi will take a seat. Spurko's got his 3rd strikeout of the game. He's got one in every inning so far.
The center fielder, number 23, Zach Rollins.
So Zach Rollins batting 9th for the Owls. And considering we're looking at the back of the rotations, we've seen, quick innings, plenty of base runners, but these pitchers have been able to get runners out, batters out effectively. It's the first pitch strike taken by Rollins.
Definitely better pitching now than at the first couple at-bats, which is good to see. Hopefully they're settling in and hitting their groove.
Taken again for a second called strike. Spurko's ahead 0-2. Rollins batting .245 on the season. Played in 18 games for the Owls.
And a junior, so he's seen some playing time.
0-2 strung on, chopped. That's going to be foul.
Nice hustle by Ryan Day coming out to try to make a play on it, but it rolled foul before he got to it.
Nah, he was not going to touch that thing until it went foul. No way.
If it stayed in, he would have made it.
Nah, if he stayed in, that's an infield single and a gift for Rossi. Or Rollins, rather. Not sure how common it is to have your center fielder batting 9th. I suppose he's in there for his defense. Stereotypically, you think of your outfielders as, the source of power. But anyway, 0-2, line foul.
This is D3 college ball. We've seen lots of versatile players in for different reasons. We've got a pitcher playing left field for the Owls, so we do see that players can move around a little bit, maybe not the same stereotypes as the major leagues.
Yeah, sure. I mean, across all sports, it's sort of hard to compare levels. The strategy's all different, the ability of the players all different, so we'll give it to him. Here's the 0-2 now for the 3rd time, taken inside, brushing him back is Spurko. Looks like the softball game across the way, the early game's already wrapped up. Don't know what the final score was on that, but Jumbos were way out ahead. My guess is there was a mercy rule, or otherwise they'd still be playing. 1-2 now. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Tim Spurko. And that'll bring the leadoff batter, Max Struthers, who is guilty of an error in the bottom of the 2nd. Baseball's a game of redemption, so he's got a chance now to get himself on base and make up for the miscue.
Also benefited from an error on the Jumbo side that got him to first base.
I suppose maybe karma's already played out then.
We'll see how this at-bat goes.
Well, the first pitch was taken for a strike. Spurko delivers. Looked at again for a strike two, and Spurko is dealing. We've seen batters just can't get the bat off their shoulder, just waiting until they're deep in the count before even trying to take a hack. Here's the 0-2. Spurko can strike out the side. Delivers outside.
In a lot of his at-bats, Spurko's been able to fool people with the low pitches, and they're swinging over it. Maybe we'll see one of those here if he's going for that strikeout.
Yeah, and that's another pitch he's not throwing it for a strike, so it's the perfect opportunity. Taken inside. 2-2 now. Spurko at risk of falling into a full count after going ahead 0-2. Pitch swung on, lined into center field for a base hit, and Struthers gets aboard.
Did not need an error to get the single on that one. Well hit into center field. No chance for anyone to make a play on that.
Yeah, that's the first time the Owls have managed to get it to the outfield at all. The second hit of the day for them. The first, that little nubber to the pitcher, Spurko couldn't handle. So really, the first clean base hit. Now that seeing Spurko a second time, you may start to see diminishing returns now that the Owls have gotten the word out.
Tom Moosey up for the Owls. Now he's struck out in the first inning.
Spurko keeping an eye on Struthers at first. Delivers a called strike one.
Moosey here, a freshman for the Owls. He's a younger player, but still a starter in this game at least. He's played a bunch. He's played 20 games.
Struthers not taking too big of a lead. Of course, Spurko keeping an eye on him. Delivers, grounds that one to third, stays in play, over to first, and the ball comes out of the glove. I think either hit the leg of Moosey, or Moosey might have kicked the glove of Falkson. So
definitely heard some contact there, and the ball did not stay in the glove. Couldn't hold on to it.
And that's going to be called an error. Gotta guess that's an error on the first baseman, who E3. And the Owls have first and second, 2 outs. Called strike to Longley. This inning mirroring the previous, where the Jumbos had 2 quick outs before getting a couple guys on base.
Now up, we have Connor Longley, who grounded into a double play.
Swung on, grounded at first, hops over the bag, and after committing the error, Falkson, foul. Wow,
Looks like that one stayed in.
I thought that was right over the bag. In these D3 games, you've only got 2 umpires. And it's just like back in the day in Central Park Little League, Yorkville Little League rather. So,
and
not sure about that.
The one umpire behind the plate and one between the pitcher and second base. So not the best angle looking at first, but he made the call.
0-2 now. Late swing to stay alive. Well, the ball was basically by him, and when he started that swing.
Barely got a piece of it too. Looked like it hit close to his hands.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. He got the bat to the ball. How late he made that decision. So 0-2 now. Runners at first and second. 2 outs in the top of the third. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and Spurko strikes out the second around a base hit and an error. In the inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 men left on base, 3 strikeouts for Spurko, no walks. We're on to the bottom of the third, still scoreless.
It's turned into more of a pitcher's game than we expected after the first inning with lots of contact. But
Yeah, no doubt. You know, here at Huskins, we're in a flight path. Don't know if you can hear it at home, but we've got planes flying overhead. And it's reminding me of the last time we were at a ball game, just the two of us. You remember that one?
it was a fun game to be at, but it did not end how I would have liked it to.
Yeah, that was November 1st, 2015 over at Citi Field. Another hot spot for plane flyovers. That was Game 5 of the World Series. Of course, the Royals won that one in 12 after a stellar performance from Matt Harvey could not extend into the 9th inning. I don't think we're going to see either pitcher in this one go the distance. It was the longest outing for Superco of the season was his 7 innings in his first start. Schiff, let's take a look and see what he's done. He's started 4 games with an 0-2 record. And he's pitched a total of 15 1/3 coming into today on the season. His longest appearance was 5 innings in a loss, or in a win rather, to Curry. He didn't get a decision though.
We do see there are a number of fans in attendance out here enjoying the nice weather. Probably the first game that they've wanted to come out here because of the weather.
Cooch leading off the inning, takes inside for ball 1. Well, I thought yesterday might have been the first game to be played at Huskins. I think I may be wrong as Cooch takes a strike, 1-1. I was looking back at the schedule and it said that they played a game against Salem State earlier in the month. 1-1, swung on into right field. That'll be at least 1. Cooch on his horse going for 2. Play at second, ball comes in just late on a leadoff double for Cooch.
Solid hit out to right field. The ball did not get to second in time for a tag, and the tag wasn't there anyway.
And Cooch was thinking double all the way. Rightly so, hit pretty deep to right, but Springfield got there relatively close. But here comes Tommy O'Hara, the third baseman. Grounded into a double play his first time up. Now with no outs and a runner in scoring position, Jumbo's looking to cash in. First pitch taken low. We take a look at O'Hara. He's sitting up further up in the box than most batters. His first hit solidly ahead of the top of the plate as he takes ball 2.
O'Hara has a 333 batting average, but he racks in a lot of RBIs. He's got 13 so far this season.
And Schiff is either lost control or is intentionally pitching around O'Hara, now down 3-0. And couldn't blame you for pitching around O'Hara. He's a fine hitter, but with Foxen, the Jumbo's leading batting average getter, not sure I said that right, coming up behind him. O'Hara takes a strike, 3-1. Yeah, I mean, until you get towards sort of the back of the order, there's not really anybody here that you can safely pitch around. O'Hara's pretty well protected.
But even then, Will Shackelford batting 9th for the Jumbos is one of their better hitters, so not really a safe part of the order as O'Hara gets hit by a pitch and he'll take first base. Does not look injured, just jogging down the line.
Well, yeah, same as ball 4 there, so a little insult, injury added to the walk. Insult, I don't know. It was a hit by pitch fest yesterday. I don't know the final numbers, but Jumbo's got hit by pitches at least 5 or 6 times across the doubleheader yesterday by the pitchers from the Leslie Lynx. So they're pretty used to it at this point in the weekend. Here comes Foxen with runners on first and second, no out. Takes a look at strike 1. Coming in at about the belt. Schiff ahead 0-1, trying to get himself out of a first and second no-out jam. Time called. Granted to Foxen, just as Schiff was about to get set.
No. Foxen, one of the people who made errors earlier in the game. Maybe he'll be looking to make up for that by hitting an RBI single or double here.
Takes a look, and that pitch looked like one of the goofier ones we've seen some Schiff. Had something on it, some sort of movement. And that'll lead Foxen to take it for a strike, 0-2, but not his pitch.
He's taking a lot of time there, maybe not comfortable in the box as he normally is.
Or perhaps trying to disrupt the pitcher's timing. He's also got to worry about a couple guys on base in the no-out situation. 0-2 looked at outside. With Rossi having a lunge just to pick that one. One and two now coming to Nick Foxen. Swung on, fouled out of play. That one's got the potential to hit a car, and instead it's just off the top of the batting cage.
Not quite far enough over to hit a car in the parking lot there. But,
you know, I'm not going to lie. Every foul ball, I hope it hits a car. Maybe that makes me a little bit of a jerk. Well, you tell me. Tweet at us, Tufts JumboCast.
you should all know Bernie does not have a car and would not have any experience with damage to
This
his.
is grounded through the hole. That'll bring a run home. Moves the runner from first to third. And a RBI single there for Foxen, and the Jumbos are on the board.
Nice hit and nice base running there. There was a throw to third, but with a slide, it was not a close play.
So 1-0 lead now, and with runners at the corners, Schiff is yet to retire a batter. That'll bring up Mike McLaughlin, the left fielder this afternoon. Takes a strike, appeared to be pretty much down the middle. Though, with our vantage view of check swings, we don't have a great view of home plate in terms of what's down the middle, things like that. Taken outside. And when I say it's taken outside, you know, I'm usually looking at the movement of the catcher more than where the pitch is itself, because it's, you know, hard to tell from this perpendicular angle we're sort of at over here. The pitch appeared to be inside.
Another indicator that might tell us it's inside is if the batter moves at all, but that is not always the case for inside pitches.
So 2-1. First runners at first and third with no out now. And a balk is called, it looks like. Hit by pitch.
Hit by pitch. Not sure where that hit
Yeah,
him, but it
Balk
must
would
have
it-
been on
Balk
his
would have
arm.
moved the runner, yeah. Got a piece of the sleeve, I guess, so bases loaded now for Nachmanoff. And a chance to break this game wide open. First pitch low and outside. No margin for error here for Schiff now. Behind 1-0 with bases loaded and no outs, and you know, still only one run in this inning, but you sort of had a feeling that the Jumbos would get a big threatening inning like this sooner rather than later. This one sent into center field in pursuit, and that's a home run. That's a grand slam. Just cleared the fence there. I was calling that one like a line drive, but it just wedges itself in the netting just over the fence, and that's a grand salami to put the Jumbos up 5-1. How's that for a home run call?
Yeah, even as it was going over the fence, it looked like it was going to hit the top, but cleared it by a couple of feet, and now you can see Jumbo's dugout emptied out for everyone to congratulate the players coming home, taking a big lead here in the third inning.
Still no outs in the inning. Called strike as Brown digs in. All 5 batters to reach the plate have now scored in the inning. 2 strikes now on Brown, and what started off as a decently promising outing for Schiff has now turned sour. All 5 runs will be earned. Outside 1 and 2.
As I mentioned in the pregame notes, Schiff has a lot of strikeouts. He had 8.8 per 9 innings coming into the game, and he seemed to give up a lot of hits that compensated and resulted in his losses. But here, we're not really seeing many strikeouts. He seems to be giving up a lot of hits and leaving it to his defense.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on, popped. This should be playable for the first baseman, and it's caught in foul territory for an out. First out of the inning.
The catcher, number 23, Ryan Day.
Ryan Day now. He is the 7th man up in the inning. Takes a called strike. The lefty, we don't see too significant a shift from the outfield. The infield a little bit more so. So 0-1 pitch comes in. This one's fouled straight up. Not straight up. That's an optical illusion. Way out of play.
I was out behind and farther out than the Owls dugout. But from our angle, looked pretty straight up. I will give you that one, Bernie.
Taken high for ball. And Day's now worked it back to 2-2. I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention to the monitor. I don't know if we've got a replay equipped yet in this broadcast. I don't know if you got to see that home run again. This one's grounded down to second. Fielded cleanly over to first. Musey to Longley for the putout. But now 2 away now. Base is empty. And after the grand slam, Schiff has settled down. That sure helps when you don't have runners on base, but I don't think that's what he had in mind.
It almost looks like a completely different inning.
I mean, that's some of the chatter I heard, from the Tufts dugout when Brown went up to bat, is that he was leading off. I mean, and bunt laid down, fielded by the third baseman in fair territory, and a bunt single for Shackelford, surprising everyone, and no chance. So the
Beautiful bunt there. Went right down the third base line. Didn't go foul, and third baseman got to it, but didn't have a play for a throw.
Well, crucially, it stayed on the grass. With the dirt, it could foul pretty easily with the grass slowing down the motion. Jumbo's starting it up again now, batting around. Petrie singles, or I don't know, maybe more, straight down the third base line. He'll be getting 2 at least, and he'll settle for 2. Throw comes in, way late, and an RBI double for Petrie.
Looks like the throw coming in, giving Petrie an easy slide across home plate.
Shackelford, scored from first. I'm really not sure why Savigny double clutched. Might have had a chance for a play at the plate had he gotten that throw away cleanly. Double clutched, took an extra half second at least, and now we're finally going to have a conversation at the mound. Jumbo's 6 runs in already, and Cooch about to take to the plate for the second time.
Now we have a conversation at the mound with one of the Owls coaches and the pitcher with Schiff there. probably talking about how to settle him down and get the last out in this inning.
Yeah, the bullpen's been taxed for the Owls this weekend, with one of their starters only going 2/3 of an inning. I forget exactly which game that was, but it looks like Schiff is going to finish at least this inning. It needs some length. Cooch takes strike one.
Shift pitch is significantly slower with runners on.
Fouled back over the backstop, and hope everybody's all right back there. There's some foliage that obscures view of the field from behind the backstop, so it's possible folks back there unaware when there's projectiles coming their way. But
Well, yesterday there's the tailgate set up over there, but I don't know if the similar setup is there today, but that would have been in danger.
And this one's sent to center, or into left rather, and the play is made there by Savigny to end the inning. So Tufts send 10 to the plate, come home. We've got 6 runs in the inning, 5 hits, no errors, 1 man left on base, no strikeouts, and no walks. So successful inning for the Jumbos, putting up a 6th spot, and just 3 innings in, but the Jumbos might be able to cruise a little bit from here. So let's take a look at Twitter. Again, I'm not sure if the Twitter is happening or not, but we've gotten a couple tweets. Joe Birnbaum is that would be the grandfather to both Freddie and I. Says Bernie and Freddie, we're streaming the game on our TV. Grandma Joan, Mike, and I are watching. So we've got the whole mishpacha. I know everybody's all the Jews out there preparing for Pesach, Passover. So a lot of cooking. Maybe you've got the game on your phone in the kitchen while you're preparing the brisket, or cleaning out the chametz, getting all that bread out of there. I don't know. We've got also from Papa John's son. Not sure what that's about, but he says, "Let's go Owls, hooty hoo." Well, that came in before that inning, which saw the Owls give up 6 runs. And they'll be looking to pick some of those back up now on the top of the 4th. Due up, we've got Regione, Bourget, and Springfield to face Spurco. First pitch swinging, grounded to short on a delay, gets it over for the out. Shackelford struggled a little bit, but recovered in time.
Was at risk of having another error there, but he managed to get it together in time for the throw.
So that'll bring up Bourget, who had that infield single to the pitcher in the 2nd. Beyond their reach, diving. Bourget is 2 for 2 on the afternoon.
Nice effort and dive there, but he could not get across to the ball and had to be fielded in left field.
Yeah, I thought Shackelford had a chance, but man, would that have been a play of the day if he'd gotten there. So Springfield up now with a man on first. 1 away in the inning. Taken low and outside. Springfield grounded in the fielder's choice earlier. That moved Bourget to 2nd. That's the only time the Owls have had any runners in scoring position. Actually, that's not true. They did in the 3rd as well. The 1-1 taken, or 1-0 taken for a strike to bring it to 1-1.
Superco looks pretty comfortable here.
Springfield looks at ball 2. Not a lot of aggression from Owls hitters. We've been seeing a lot of pitches taken. They're still trying to cipher Superco. 2-1 on the way. Swung on. He was ahead of it. Missed for a strike 2. Big hack though taken by Springfield. I mean, he was trying to get a run scored on that one. Here's a 2-2. Looked at for a called strike 3. Springfield has a couple words with the umpire before trotting away. That was nasty.
The left fielder, number 32.
He's looking for a big hit with the big swings, but on that last one, didn't look at all.
Yeah, tough to score runs when the bat's on your shoulder. Savigny steps in now. First pitch swinging. This one's coming out of play. Should be playable for the first baseman, and it's caught by Foxen to end the inning. So Superco works around a 1-out single.
14 stayed in the top of the fourth inning, no runs on
In that inning, runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base, 1 strikeout for Superco, no walks. And Jumbos will get another chance to bat, up 6-0. Let's take this opportunity to see if the director can pass me my water bottle, which is in my backpack, which is behind you. You being Andrew, who's our director.
And as Bernie turns around, all the notes go flying.
Oh yeah, they'll do that when you're not watching. As we've said, it's a really nice day out, but that means we've got to stay hydrated. You know, sun's beating down. I've got my cap on, but I hate to break it to you. I did not put on sunscreen. I'm not into that habit yet. This is the first sunny day we've had, so
You've seen the players being a little more responsible. I saw them putting on some sunscreen in between innings earlier.
well, live and learn. Schiff out to pitch the 4th after giving up a 6th spot in the 3rd. Does look like there might be some action. We really have a terrible angle to see the bullpens from here. The best we can see is if there's movement, and we certainly could not tell you who was in either, but no need for the Gemos to have anyone up. Spurco's been dealing. So here we are, bottom of the 4th. Tommy O'Hara to lead off. Off-speed pitch comes in, looked at for a strike. I say off-speed because it appeared to my eye to be a bit slower, though what do I know? I'm no radar gun. Here's the 0-1, swung on and missed.
Big swing there, but not really close to the ball.
And it's
Another one looked like it could have been the same pitch as last time. Big swing and a strike. And he'll take his seat in the dugout.
First baseman, number 32, Nick Faulkson.
good start for Schiff after the rough inning. Here comes Nick Foxen. Foxen singled to right, singled to center in the last inning. Drew a walk in the first, so he's 1-1 on the day.
And got the first RBI of the big inning last inning and set that into motion.
1-0 now, taken at the knees for a strike. One from Schiff. Looked at again, that time a little lower out of the strike zone for ball 2-1. Two and one. Called strike. And maybe at some point in this at-bat, Foxton will take that bat off his shoulder, but we haven't seen it yet.
We've only seen one walk from Schiff, so does not look like he's prone to that, but there have been a couple hit batsmen, so Foxton could be looking for more erratic pitching.
I'm not sure what this conversation's about, taken as it was during a strange time and the umpire having a discussion with Schiff, which is unusual.
The only time I would expect something like that was if he hit another player or two and the umpire wanted to calm him down and make sure he wasn't hitting anyone on purpose, but
now a conversation with one of the coaches for Keene State. In the middle of an at-bat too. You know, this is the kind of thing where in the majors, you know, we'd get a, you know, some sort of word, you know, maybe some sort of substance or a uniform violation or something random, but well, we're going to have to live in mystery here, at least for now. 2-2 pitch on the delay now. Swung on, grounded to third, fielded cleanly. Brings it across the diamond over to first for the putout. Bourget to Longley, and there's 2 away.
The left fielder, number 30.
You never know what that was about. But Schiff, unbothered, has a chance at his first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. McLaughlin, who had a grounded into a force out in the first and was hit by pitch in the last inning, has now looked at the first 2 pitches, which brings him to 1-1. On deck, looming, is Nachmanov, who had the grand slam that blew the gates open. But if he's going to come up, McLaughlin will have to do something here behind 1 and 2.
Jumbo's a lot less aggressive this inning. We've only seen a few swings. There was one of them, but it was a drop third strike thrown over to first for the out. And that 1-2-3 inning for Schiff, his first one of the game.
Yeah, so no runs, no hits, no errors, none left on base. 2 strikeouts for Schiff. Very impressive to recover from the debacle of a third and come away with his sharpest inning yet.
Good sign for the Owls there. If they're hoping to make a comeback, they can hold the lead to 6, as intimidating as that might be. And if they're lucky, Schiff will have another inning like that in him.
So as you may have just heard, called out of the Tufts dugout, we've got 8, 9, and 1 due up. That's Rossi, Rollins, and Struthers, who are combined 1 for 3. Struthers was the man to reach base. He did so twice, reaching on an error in the first and a single in the third.
This is the second time Rossi and Rollins will be seeing Serperco, and he struck them both out in the third inning the first time he faced them, so he'll be looking to do something similar here.
Yeah, already 6 strikeouts on the afternoon, and Serperco's got, you know, those good strikeout numbers. First pitch outside. His Serperco's strikeouts for 9 innings, 10.5. But he hits the batter here. Rossi will take first.
Does not seem phased after being hit, which is always a good sign that no one is hurt.
The center fielder, number 23, Zach Rollins.
Boy, yesterday we saw Player get hit in the helmet and started to just take it. That was Casey Santos Ocampo, just in the first game of the doubleheader. It was sort of a slow looping pitch. Just took it on the side of the helmet. Just sort of greened all the way to first. His first pitch, skied to left, chasing it back, and that's going to be gone.
It's a 2-run homer. Well hit, much harder than the grand slam we saw from the Jumbos. That one looked out from well over the fence, and not much they could do about that.
Let's see, do we have a replay enabled yet? So it looks like that's going to be the only look we're going to get at the home run. But, yeah. Rollins coming in, smacking one over the left field, right over the 1950 NCAA College World Series sign out there. And the Owls are on the board. Another first pitch swinging. That one could get a car. Just missed, landed in between a few cars over there. So 6-2 now. Owls on the board. So leadoff hitter now Struthers, who's gotten on base both times. He's been at the plate. He takes, it's 1-1.
Ryan Day signaling to Superco to calm down. Maybe he's a little rattled after giving up that home run, but he still needs to get some outs and get out of this inning.
Swung on, or just off the top of the backstop. Foul.
Made it over the backstop. It looked like it was headed at the lacrosse team.
One two pitch. Grounded to third. Fielded there. Cross to first. O'Hara to Fox in on the putout. So Struthers retired for the first time today.
The second baseman, number 3, Tom Musey.
UC coming up. He struck out in the first and reached on an error in the third.
First pitch blown away. For Rollins, that was his second homer of the season. He's the first of the Owls to reach that plateau. 4 others are tied at 1. Spurko behind 2-0 now to Musey.
It's the third home run for Keene State this weekend, all by different players.
This one's chopped short, sharply across to Foxon, who has to leave his feet and to make the catch, but he does, and he tags the runner to get the second out of the inning.
Nice awareness by Foxon there, leaving the bag to make the catch so the runner couldn't take another base, and then still landed in time to get the tag.
Yeah, Shackelford took that grounder, came up on him quickly, had plenty of time, and overdid it a little bit on the throw, but not egregiously. And now Longley takes the first pitch in the dirt. So 2 outs, no one on, but Superco giving up 2 so far, and the Rollins home run in the inning. That one swung under by Longley.
Looks like he tipped it just a little bit, but held by the catcher.
We see the flag out and left, blowing from right to left, blowing maybe a little out. We've seen 2 home runs today. This one lined to short softly, and the inning is over, but not before some damage is done. 2 runs come in for the Owls on the Rollins homer in the inning. There was runs on 1 hit, no errors, none left on, no strikeouts, and no walks for Spurco. And so that'll take us to the bottom of the 5th. Jumbo's leading 6-2.
Looks like the Jumbos are having a huddle outside of the dugout right here. Can't hear what they're saying. We're not that close, but
saying.
Some of it.
The words we're hearing is don't let them back in it. The whole 9 innings. Doesn't matter whether we're up or down. That's the spirit you want. And, to quote a buddy of ours on the crew, the philosophy of the team is there's 2 things you can control, right? That's effort and attitude. Is that right, Sebastian? Right. So we're seeing the consistency here with the Jumbos scoring 6 in the 3rd, giving up 2 in the 5th, and not wanting to let up. Keep hitting us up on Twitter. We've got Tufts JumboCast. You can use a hashtag, add us with the handle. Between these innings, we don't take breaks, so it can be tough to fill the air. If you want to hear, some old, stories or whatever, I don't know. I'm sure some folks out there.
Maybe about Bernie's baseball experiences as a youngster.
But I don't know. I'm just saying.
He's spared for now as the game gets back underway. Called strike.
And Nachmanoff, who hit the grand slam in the 3rd, will lead off in the 5th. Schiff still in the game impressively. I mean, he's really settled down in the 4th after the terrible 3rd inning he had. 1-1 now coming up to Nachmanoff. This one swung on and batted foul down the 3rd baseline. One, 2 coming up to the leadoff batter in the 5th. Chopped over to short. Fielded there by Struthers, across to Longley, and 1 away.
Nice clean play by the Owls defense.
The center fielder, number 15, Harry Brown.
And that's 5 in a row retired now by the Owls. It didn't seem like that'd be something we'd be able to say when we were partway through the 3rd, but here we are. This one is going to break that streak as Brown lines the first pitch just over the glove of Musian into right for a single. I don't know if you've been noticing our bat boy here, but wearing number 2, I don't know who he is or what his name is, but we've got an adorable, what I'd guess is they're late elementary school or maybe even early middle school. What do you think, Freddie? 3rd or 4th grade on him?
Could very well be. I'm not always the best judge of age, but I do remember on yesterday's broadcast I learned that he's the cousin of one of the players.
Understood.
And Boomer Saraga's cousin, actually. And he comes and hangs out with the team and has a great time, as you can see.
He wears a helmet, so he stays safe. Meanwhile, Ryan Day has taken 2 pitches, a ball and a strike. Brown taking a short lead off first. Schiff not worrying too much about him. Delivers low for ball 2. Boomer Saraga, not in the lineup today, but a senior and if I'm not mistaken, and a friend of the program. He wrote into us as Day lines it into center. Back-to-back singles now for the Jumbos, and they're in business.
That one dropping just in front of the center fielder as he came in on that. Got it on 1 bounce.
The shortstop, number 1, Will Shackelford.
So Shackelford, who had a single and scored in the 3rd, had a single and was stranded in the 2nd, come up with a chance to go 3 for 3. First pitch taken low. Schiff in a little bit of trouble again. Schiff turns around, takes a look at Brown leading off second, but leads here are not too aggressive.
Dugout isn't just shouting words of encouragement. You'll hear every time pitcher looks for a pickoff attempt, they're shouting back, helping their players out.
And Musi skies one into center. It should be playable for Rollins. He makes the catch. Tagging, going to third is Brown, and he'll reach easily. So it's a productive out. And both runners tagged, actually.
Shackelford, and it looks like Ryan Day waited for the throw to go towards third before making his break towards second. Smart base running there, able to get the extra base.
Yeah, and you'd think if Rollins had hit the cutoff man there, you maybe get a play at second, but he sent it straight to third. And we've got a coach coming out to talk to Schiff.
Had been looking good for those 5 outs in a row, but now he's back to giving up hits. And
yeah, and second and third with 1 out, no chance to get out of it with a double play. We've got the leadoff batter, Petrie, coming up. Petrie is 3 for 3 with a single and 2 doubles. So I don't know what the conversation's going to be. With Cooch, O'Hara, Fox, and McLaughlin all coming up after, I'm not sure if the strategy here would, include it. You probably wouldn't intentionally walk Petrie, but you definitely might want to pitch around him. You've got the free base. You can set up a double play that way with a batter that's already got 3 hits. But interesting times as Petrie swings on the first pitch. That's going down the right field line and foul.
out of the reach of Connor Longley, the first baseman. He was running back for it, lost his cap, but couldn't get close.
Speaking of my playing days, when I was back in out in Central Park or on Randall's Island or wherever it was, it always felt good if you were chasing a ball and you lost your cap. That's how you know you were really trying hard.
Or it was a windy day.
Let me have this one, Freddie. Petrie takes strike 2, and he's behind 0-2. Yeah, I will say, some of those games out at Randall's, definitely wind was a factor. I remember some of the early season ones in the spring. I mean, it's practically child cruelty, the temperatures we played in at times. This one fouled out of play. Not going to exceed the limits of the ballpark. Now losing his cap again was Longley, so a lot of effort being put in by him by our metric. Here's the 0-2. And he's punched out to end the inning.
Not there, but good for Schiff to get that strikeout, maybe calm down a little bit.
And I
more
regret
comfortable.
talking up the double play a second ago. I'd forgotten that Knockoff had led off with a ground out before the fly ball that sent the runners to second and third. So that was my mistake there. Hope I didn't confuse anyone too much. Our tends to stay pretty accurate, so you can trust that even if you can't trust me. So in the inning, we had 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 men left on base, a strikeout, and no walks.
On the screen now, you see that the Tufts dugout likes to take a jog in between innings, stay loose. Don't want to get too cramped down there. On a day like yesterday when it was cold and windy, that was more necessary. Today, when it's nice out, I feel like they're enjoying their jog and walk a little bit more.
You gotta stay loose. Second game of the women's softball doubleheaders underway. Unusual in that it's a doubleheader against 2 different teams. So we had Colby in the early game and Bates in the nightcap, if you can call it that. Of course, sun's still way high in the sky. We're just past 2:30 in the afternoon.
Looks like that game is scoreless in the top of the second.
Leading off for Keene State in the top
That was a
six
game we
inning
were supposed to be
designated
covering for you
Region.
last weekend. We were set to cover all 3 games of the softball series against Bates, but regrettably the weather did not cooperate, and only this weekend has the weather sort of processed the fact that it's springtime. So, go figure. 1-0 pitch swung on to bring the count to 1-1 for Regioni. Regioni is grounded out twice, once to third and once to short. Swung on, fouled back, 1-2. Oh, what's interesting and maybe a reason to stay tuned in is that both games yesterday, which Keene fell behind and ended up losing, as Regioni is called out on strikes, much to the protest of the Owls dugout. Second strikeout looking recorded by Spurko. Now, both games yesterday, the Owls fell behind, came back to tie before eventually falling, so they have resilience. It hasn't really resulted in W's this weekend yet, but don't count them out. 4-run deficits, not the craziest thing at this point now that they've chipped away a little bit. Borje digs in with 1 out.
And we have seen them hit home runs today and yesterday as their main scoring plays, but
Well, that's a called strike. 2-1. Hard to tell from here. You know, of course, we're looking at it at an angle, but it seemed to be right about the letters.
especially hard for here because we're looking at the batter's back.
Yeah, Borje the lefty, and with our setup over here on top of the first base dugout. So 3-1 coming up. Borje trying to get on base for the second time. He had a single to the pitcher. Call strike taken. Spurko's gotten it back to a full count. Actually gotten on base twice. He's 2 for 2. And a solid clean single to left field back in the 4th. Here we are in the top of the 6th now. Swung on, grounded to first. He'll take it himself. And Foxton does it unassisted, 2 away.
The right fielder, number 35, Devin Springfield.
So we haven't had a 1-2-3 inning yet from Spurko, though it certainly has felt like it. Every inning so far has seen at least one Owls batsman reach base. The first nullified by a double play. And we've had a couple innings where Spurko's only faced 4. Here's a chance for Spurko to record 3 consecutive outs.
Short conversation there at the mound, but Day is headed back behind the plate.
Yeah, I will say, you know, Spurko hasn't been particularly great at getting ahead in counts, but it hasn't really come back to bite him too much. Here's a 1-0 to Springfield, low. Springfield ahead 2-0.
Spurko has fallen behind here, but gets a strike swinging.
And Springfield swung ahead of that one. Just blown by him.
Looks like catcher Ryan Day is looking towards the dugout for instructions, getting some help with the pitch calling maybe.
Here's 2-1. That one off speed, taking a weird turn. Springfield was having none of it. 3-1. Hitters count now. Springfield, who's grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out looking. Fouls one off the mask of Day. Keep this at-bat alive. With the full count, an opportunity for a 1-2-3 inning. The chatter is rising out of the Tufts dugout. Sets, deals, caught looking for strike 3. Second time today, and Perko's worked himself a 1-2-3 inning. So we've got no runs, hits, no errors, none left on base, 2 strikeouts, both looking in the inning, no walks for Perko, and he's through 6. Very solid 6 innings, and we'll see if he'll come out again for the 7th to match his longest outing of the season so far.
A notable event that happened during that last half there is Tufts University President Tony Monaco walked over. I think he's standing too close to the dugout for. Oh no, he's sitting now.
Yeah, we might be able to get a shot at Tony. We always like to put Tony on blast. Of course, our camera operator has taken this opportunity to remove his headset, so he's not hearing us right now. But yeah, Tony's here. He's always supporting Tufts athletics. We see him a lot at volleyball, basketball, and Cousins, but here he is taking in the game at Huskins.
Enjoying the nice day.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a crime to be outside on a day like today. We've gotten a couple more tweets.
Inside, rather.
That's what I meant. You get me. You get me. A couple more tweets, both from Rich Birnbaum. We've gotten all 3 generations of Birnbaum tweeting in. He says, those cold weather Little League games were also parent cruelty. Yes, I'm assuming this is to both of us. What are your best memories from your Little League or youth soccer days?
Can go for that one. I stopped playing baseball a while before Bernie did. I switched over to soccer. But while I did play baseball, I remember I was tended to be one of the faster players and got a couple stolen bases in one game, which was nice as a strike is thrown for the first pitch.
Cooch at bat has 2 for 3 on the day. Takes a look at strike 2. He's singled to short and doubled to right in the first and third before flying out to left in the fourth. He came around to score the first run of the game on the double from Faulkson. Single from Faulkson, rather.
That pitch gets away from the catcher, but there's no base runner, so no rush to chase after it.
Yeah, this has been a well-caught game, on both sides. This one popped up out of play beyond the Owls dugout. That's another one where I almost bought into the optical illusion, but see what happened there, Freddie, was I was smart. I took a look at the catcher. The catcher wasn't reacting. I figured maybe I shouldn't either. This one sharply to the first baseman who takes it himself. Nice pick from Longley to get the first out unassisted.
The third baseman, number 24, Tommy O'Hara.
And Tommy O'Hara is coming up. He's grounded into a double play and struck out in his at-bats. He's also hit by a pitch in the third inning. And was the first to score on the Nachmanoff grand slam.
So
takes a hack at the first pitch. Shift working into the 6th inning.
with the exception of the bad bottom of the third there, has been giving up plenty of hits, but been able to keep a handle on most situations.
Count now at 1-1. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Tufts line, they've scored 6 runs on 9 hits, but all 6 runs were in the third. 5 of the hits were in the third. If you take that out, he's pitched now 4 1/3 innings of 4-hit shutout ball, but you don't sort of get to take out the third, do you? You have all the innings count.
That's generally how they play the game. And that last foul ball again past the Owls dugout.
Well, some of us here at Tufts, we're accustomed as professors who might drop the lowest quiz grade or something like that.
I've heard rumors of such professors as
O'Hara's punched out.
O'Hare struck out, but I've yet to encounter one for myself.
Well, take some comp sci classes because, you know, when it comes to quizzes and tests, and, well, tests less so, but if they're like minor quizzes, you know, there's sort of a broad recognition that in classes like that, you know, quizzes are not the most effective way to gauge your skills. You know, projects and homework are. So if you show up and have one bad day, no one's going to hold it against you too much. But we digress as Foxen takes a pitch, strike one, could have been called low. And we have the opportunity now for Schiff to match with another 1-2-3 inning. That would be his first of the game. So all of a sudden, the pitchers are settling in. 0-2 now to Foxen.
Foxen adjusting gloves here. Will be stepping up to the plate, looking to defend the plate.
Swung on, sent into right center. Diving leap out of the reach of Rollins and headed to third now. And he's going to get in there cleanly is Foxen with a triple.
Nice solid hit there. Looked like Rollins almost had a play on it, but couldn't quite get there with his dive. And so Springfield had to run over and pick that up and throw it into the relay man. Foxen slid into third, but did not have to. But
Rollins, you know, committed to the dive, may have been able to limit that to a double if he'd stayed on his feet and played it off the wall, but went for it all, and we end up with a triple. That brings up McLaughlin, who has a chance to drive in a run. He was hit by a pitch in the third, came around to score. Besides that, he's been out twice. Sends this one into right center. That's chasing Rollins back. He leaps for it again, can't make it there, so that'll bring in a run. And McLaughlin's into second with a double. So after getting the first two outs, some deep extra base hits off of Schiff, and looks like that'll bring a coach out to chat, and wouldn't be too shocked if that was it for Schiff at this point. But
seems like those two hitters hit that sweet spot right where Rollins thought he could get it but couldn't. And same dive both times and unsuccessful both times. I wonder how Rollins feels, or if he was thinking about the first play when the second one came around.
And so that'll be the afternoon for Schiff. Yet to see who's going to come in to replace him. But the line for Schiff, 7 runs given up, all of them earned on 11 hits in 6 2/3. At times, he was pretty successful in working out of jams, and it looked like he was just finally hitting his stride before giving up a triple and a double, and a round of applause from the Owls fans in attendance. So, coming in now to pitch, replacing Schiff, that's going to be number 45, Michael McDermott. McDermott's a sophomore, righty,
Your attention, please, now
out of
pitching
Waterford,
for the
Connecticut.
State College Owls, number 45, Michael McDermott.
Do you have the numbers on McDermott accessible?
I'll pull them up in a second. Looks like McDermott has played in 6 games for a total of 8.2 innings. His seems to be a strikeout pitcher. He gets 7.27 strikeouts per 9, but he also has a relatively high ERA of 6.23, and he's given up 2 home runs. So does not seem to be has not started any games, but he's come in and gotten strikeouts, but he's also given up a lot. It'll be interesting to see if he can get the strikeouts first.
And he comes into not the ideal situation, but just 2 outs, 1 runner on second. Knockman off of Grand Slam fame coming up. besides that, he's lined to second and grounded out to short. So I wouldn't be shocked if they try and pitch around Nachmanoff. It got to Brown, who's also 1 for 3, but no grand slam. Also would create the force play at any base. So we'll see how McDermott attacks his first batter of the afternoon. First pitch in the dirt ahead of the plate.
Catcher kept it in front of them. That's Nate Rossi kept it in front of him to prevent the runner from advancing.
A couple in the dirt now.
Again, Nate Rossi keeping it within his reach and holding the runner at second to second base.
Two 2-0 upcoming for McDermott. He deals, swung on. First pitch to travel 6 feet, 60 inches for him.
Big swing there, but went over the ball.
Knocking off now in a favorable count. 2-1 with a runner on second. Takes another one in the dirt. And my advice to McDermott now would be bring it up. Try and get that one up at least above the knees.
That would be the general suggestion for pitchers, would be getting it in the strike zone. But
that said, it would not surprise me if he's not trying to give Nachmanoff anything to hit, and he deals low, ball 4.
That one did get close to his knees, but not quite high enough to be called a strike.
The center fielder, number 15, Harry Brown.
So as we said, Harry Brown is going to come up next. Struck out his first time up, popped out, foul territory to third base in the third. Had a single to right in the fifth, and eventually made it all the way around to third, but was stranded there.
Now, as you said, with the force at any base, any hit in the infield is going to result in at least one out. So he'll need to get something into the outfield if he wants.
Wild pitch that time, bouncing in the dirt beyond Rossi. That'll move the runners up.
And now you can ignore everything I just said, because the only force is at first base now.
And don't worry, Freddie, I usually do.
Appreciate that, Bernie.
So that's the kind of banter you're not going to get normally, so I hope the folks at home are appreciating it. Well, it would be vastly more unprofessional anyway. I'm not going to say there aren't. Well, let's get back to the matter at hand. Second and third now, 1-0 pitch. This one's popped. That's going to drop in for a hit into right field. That'll bring home 2 without a throw. So Connor Brown picking up a couple RBIs. Jumbos now have put 9 on the board, lead at 9-2.
And from our vantage point, we can see that the catcher in the Owls bullpen, presumably there's a pitcher warming up throwing to him, and not just the catcher warming up.
Here's Ryan Day now. 1 for 3 on the afternoon. And McDermott's just struggling to get it to the plate on the fly. That one's skipping in again. One 0 pitch from McDermott. Under that one. McDermott shocking everyone by getting up at around eye level. He hadn't been anywhere close.
Could be part of his strategy, pound him low, and
yeah, give up a couple runs, and then
you'll get the next one.
This one grounded to second. He's going to take it himself. He'll toss it over to the second baseman, grounded to short. So Struthers to Musi, and that'll end the inning. but not a great one for the that saw 3 runs score for Tufts. Those 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors, 1 left on base. Strikeout back what seems like quite a while ago from Schiff, and a walk as well.
Now,
So
we see that someone is warming up for the Owls, but we also know they've played 3 games before this. Do you think they'd bring in another pitcher, or do you think they'll try to give another inning to McDermott?
I mean, I'm not sure what kind of innings McDermott usually gets. I mean, he only pitched a third of an inning and was credited with 1 earned run, other being still the responsibility of Schiff. I'd expect to see a new pitcher in the next inning if they're warming up now with Tufts, with their batters coming up. But to Rich about my memory, my little league career was back. I forget the name of the team, but we had a team reach the championship game, which was played in a whole bunch of rain, and the field was muddy, and we were playing against a heavily favored team who I think went undefeated or something like it in the regular season. And I think we might have been trailing or maybe even tied. I think we were tied in the game. Bases loaded. I personally was on second base, and at that moment, they decided to call the game. So the first pitch comes in now to Savigny for a strike. So they called the game with bases loaded. Pretty sure it was a tie ball game. I represented an insurance run, I guess, as Savigny takes a big hack, falls behind 0-2. And so that was the pinnacle, because when they called the game, the other team had the better season, and they got awarded the championship. So we got our runner-up trophies, and I smeared some of the mud from the field over the runner-up as Savigny takes slow. So if you find that trophy, it's still around back home somewhere in New York. And I think the mud's still on it. It just says, I don't even know what it says. It doesn't say runner-up, but I was quite happy to let that game continue. And no such rain here today, though. Really not a cloud in the sky.
Now it looks like conversation between the umpire and the batter, and someone from the Owls dugout. Not sure what that conversation was, but looks like we'll be getting back to the game.
We've had some of these weird mid-at-bat impromptu meetings going on this afternoon. I'm not sure exactly what's up.
Looks like the third person in that conversation was the third base coach for the Owls.
That one inside. Looked like it almost took a chunk off the knee of Savigny. So 2-2 now in the top of the 7th, no outs. Popped up, should be playable for the pitcher. Spurko barely has to move. He's almost run into by his first baseman, and some taunts coming from the dugout. It's almost bowled over the pitcher, but pop out to the pitcher. The first out in the 7th. Spurko very impressive going this deep into the game for the first time since early in the season.
See, still early in the season, and swinging strike for taken by Nate Rossi. You see that there aren't as many pitchers in these teams as you might see in the majors, so they really don't want them to get hurt, and they might be a little bit more conservative with things like pitch count and innings.
At the same time, it's a shorter schedule. They're not playing every day. You only really need 3, in some cases 4 guys in a rotation. So it sort of goes. It cuts both ways, is all I'm saying.
Fair point. But we'll see how far he goes here. Easy.
Yeah, Rossi's trying to get one back all on his own right here.
Big swings, but so far has not been able to do anything with it.
Yeah, and it's, the third time through the order. Taken outside, 2-2. Spurko can get the next two. You got to imagine that'll be the end of his day. By the fourth time you see a pitcher, you got to think the batters will have figured something out against him. This one swung on, flared into the glove of Petrie at second base, just into the outfield grass rather.
Nice jumping catch there. Didn't have the best angle on it, but was able to jump back for the extra foot of height he needed.
And ever since giving up the 2-run homer, Superco's now retired the last 8, 1 through 8 in the order. Of course, now that I've pointed it out, Rollins is guaranteed to get a hit. He takes slow for ball 1. But yeah, Spurko's really settled in since giving up the only damage of the game. Big swing and a miss from Rollins. Owls taking a more aggressive approach now. They're down 7 with just now 7 outs left on offense. He gets a piece of that one.
Bounces back into the umpire, looks like. Needs to walk it off a little bit.
Yeah, both of them. And Day will take the moment to have a chat with Spurko. Also in attendance, by the way. Actually, I think he may have left, but I noticed him before. Matt Maisie Phelps, longtime member of JumboCast and a senior. He'll probably be with us for our final men's lacrosse game of the season. That's coming up sometime. I don't really know exactly when. He's also in Wind Ensemble. I went to that concert last night. Really good stuff. You ever check that out?
I have a number of friends who are in ensemble, but I actually did not hear about the concert last night.
Recommend. This one's sent into right field. Should be easy for Cooch. He grabs it, and that's 9 in a row for Spurko. He gets a hand. Not sure if we'll see him again, but the way that he's pitching, who knows? So yes, no hits, no errors, no runs, none left on base, no walks, no strikeouts. We're at the 7th inning stretch. This time yesterday, of course, we would have been over, but we're playing full 9-inning games today.
No, since I was only here yesterday, those were my first baseball games I participated with. Bernie, do you know of any 7th inning stretch activities that anyone does around here?
Well, it's been a while for me too. I was in London last year during baseball season, so I missed it as well, but it seems like there's a little bit extra standing around. Sebastian suggesting on camera that we should sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." If somebody else wanted to do it, I'd certainly listen, but I don't think that's what folks have tuned in to hear.
We are trying to get more viewers at JumboCast, not trying to alienate them.
That's exactly right. We got a new pitcher that we can take a look at now for the Owls. That'll be number 28, Nate Peterson. Peterson, if I recall from my research, well, why do I need to recall? Let me just take a look. He's got an interesting sort of sidearm delivery here. It's not quite submarine. Let's see his numbers. Here we have Peterson, who's made 6 appearances for a total of 12 innings. Say even ERA of 2.25 actually. Probably the best reliever they've got. 6 strikeouts per 9 innings.
As you might have seen, we have some fans excited. Also, they look to be excited to see the score, on the Jumbo side at least.
So first pitch swinging, gets through shortstop. Reaching bases, Shackelford will have to look at the official scoring on that. I think it's been called a hit.
Looks like he could have made a play on there, but would have been a tough backhand to control that. So Shackelford gets the hit.
Petrie up now for the 6th time today. 3 for 5 already. Another first pitch swinging. Misses the third base bag by about a foot to the left.
As we heard in the Jumbo's huddle about an inning ago, they not giving up, and they're just keep going strong through the whole game, no matter the score, no matter the situation. So if they looked a little more patient and laid back in the past couple innings, now they're back to being aggressive. You see the count is 0-2.
The other one swung on line right into the shortstop's mitt. Shackelford gets back.
Strong hit, but shortstop Struthers was there and ready to grab it. Due up for the Jumbos. Is not one of their starters. It's Stephen White.
Yeah, so we've had a pinch hitter now for Oscar Cooch.
Pinch hitting for Oscar Cooch. Number 11, Stephen White.
And he'll take a first pitch strike.
So Cooch had a successful day. He went 3 for 4, scored on the scored the first run of the game. 2 for 4 rather. Got a little bit of rest after playing a lot of innings these past couple of days.
Definitely, and you see Stephen White here pinch hitting. The dugout's calling him Whitey, and he's one of the taller players we've seen today. He's 6'5". Definitely an intimidating presence. And he fouls one back into the backstop where it gets stuck.
That's pretty exciting. The 1 and 2 coming up now. Taken low. Well, Whitey, so as he's called, as he pops one up, he's listed as batting righty, but it's not what he's doing right here, right now. Cooch also bats lefty, so I think it's just a matter of getting him some rest as opposed to a sort of righty-lefty thing. Runner goes on the pass ball. And he'll take second easily. Not sure if that'll be a wild pitch or a pass ball actually in the official scoring.
Either way, good heads-up base running there by Shackelford to make sure he took advantage of it and get that extra base.
I'm going to put that down as a wild pitch. I mean, it was in the dirt. Well outside, so. Now a runner in scoring position with a full count for Stephen White. He's going to take some time to think about the situation he's found himself in. Fouled back over the Keene State bleachers. Stephen White grounds it to first, tosses it there to the pitcher, moves the runner over. Productive out, but I field it out nonetheless.
Also took a bunch of pitches to get there, so a little more work for the Owls pitcher here.
Yeah, and I mean, Peterson, who's averaging 2 innings per appearance, I don't think that's really going to play too huge a factor. You know, once you get to the bullpen, you got to assume, like, you got to be attacking. You can't be looking to work up pitch counts, in my opinion.
I
But,
tend to agree, but it's always an added bonus.
This one's rolled on the first pitch to second. Musey gets it over to Longley, and O'Hara is retired on 1 pitch. So, clean inning for the Owls. 1 hit, no errors, just the 1 guy left on base. No strikeouts or walks. And we've got a new pitcher. So Spurker's day is over. New pitcher for Tufts is Brad Marchetti. Marchetti's a freshman out of Wellesley, Mass. Local kid. You know him, Freddie?
I do not.
That's big enough.
Definitely, but sure with the size of Tufts, I probably know someone who knows him.
So some changes for Tufts. White will stay in right.
That's Marchetti. Sorry about the pronunciation. We just heard over the PA.
The final line on Spurko, that's 2 runs given up, 4 hits in 7 innings, both runs earned. He had, let's see, he had 7 strikeouts in the 7 innings, and not a walk. Impressive performance there, and gave up 1 home run. So we get a look at Marchetti here. If we look at his numbers so far in the season, let's see if we can get those. I overheard, I think he had his first collegiate save last weekend. So, yeah, how's it going?
As we've been saying, it's a beautiful day. It's nice to be outside. We've seen the starting pitching for the Jumbos has been really good the past 3 games. Yesterday, both games of the doubleheader, giving up a total of 1 run, and here giving up 2, but still a good outing. We'll get a look at their bullpen.
Yeah, so it's 1-2-3 due up for the Owls. Struthers digs in, takes high, ball 1. So the 5th appearance for Marchetti. And he gets one in there, work the count to 1-1. He did get a save last weekend. That's the only, no wins, no losses in 9 innings. Has an even 2 ERA in the 9 innings.
And that last pitch bouncing in front of the plate, but again, no runners on, so no worries about that as it got away from the catcher a little bit.
And 11 strikeouts in 9 innings, so that's 11 strikeouts per 9 innings as well. It's funny how that works. 2-1 now. And Struthers looks at it. Struthers 1 for 2 on the afternoon, also reached on an error to lead off the game. one, interesting looking pitch. It looked to my eye off speed, some interesting movement. Taken for a ball, to full count now.
Struthers saw that coming in, leaned back a little bit, but
Payoff pitch, swung on, fell back beyond our heads, and hits an empty parking spot.
within a couple of feet of a car, but no damage done.
Decently full lot, you know, between the softball action, 2 different schools coming in for that, and the baseball game here. Fouled back again. We're going to have the 8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Owls getting a good look at Marchetti. Here's the pitch, lined into center. Brown is waiting there, makes the play.
So long at bat, ended in a fly ball out to center.
Second baseman, number 3, Tom Musey.
Here comes Musey for the 4th time today. He's 0 for 2, also reached on an error, that one in the 3rd. And Marchetti starts him off with a strike.
Seeing batters getting more at-bats because of the lots of base runners and hits earlier in the game, so we're at the 4th time through the order.
That's basically where you'd expect to be at this point in the game. 8th inning, should be your 4th at bat. And Musey looks at it again. He falls behind 1 and 2. One and two coming, swung on.
Lots of here. All batters have put it into play as that one's sailed.
So that breaks us. Gioni will try and continue some of the success. He's 0 for 3, struck out looking in his last at bat and was very frustrated by it.
Here taking a first pitch strike.
That was another one that seemed to curve in there a little bit. That one lined not too far from our faces, but
Not sure if there was any contact there. Can't tell from our angle.
we're getting props from the PA announcer for not flinching, but I'm not sure if that's really. We should be a little more concerned for our safety. We have no protection over here. We're not wearing helmets. We're just out standing on the dugout. So I pause. Another punch out for Reggioni ends the inning, and he is even more incredulous. That makes 2. Back to that thought, but we're halfway through the 8th inning now. In that inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base, 1 strikeout. It was looking nice inning.
We'll see him coming to start the 9th, seeing as he normally goes to and did such a great job on that one, allowing only 1 base
Might want to
runner.
spread out the work. I do see somebody's warming up down in the bullpen. If I lean far enough, maybe I'll get their number in there. That's
Looks like 30. The closer for the
got a new pitcher for Keene State as well, and that's going to be number 44, Stephen. The final line on Peterson is just the 1 inning, 1 hit. In 6th innings. He's got an opportunity to drive in some runs. He drove in 2 with the single in the 6th. Ups to short. Shakas forward will with 2 outs, runners on 1st and 2nd. But yeah, coming into today with just 2 losses, 14 wins, and currently ranked number 8 in the country. So this is a Jumbo's squad that's become a little bit of a juggernaut. Certainly the best team in the area if you look at a map. This one's skied to right, and Springfield's there to end the inning. So 1 run on 2 hits for the Jumbos, with no errors, 2 left on base, no walks, and and no strikeouts either, or 1 walk and no strikeouts. So last 3 outs to get now.
It was probably the last offensive appearance for the Jumbos in this game, unless the Owls can mount some sort of comeback. We see for the Jumbos, number 33, Ian Kinney, who we saw earlier in the bullpen, is coming out as their closer.
And if you missed any of that 8th inning, we apologize. Again, the best we can only do as well as Verizon does. You know, we rely on them to get our signal out to the rest of the world. So, you know, I don't know if this is an advertisement. We don't mean to disparage them either, but when the signal breaks, that's not on us.
Kinney warming up here. Coming up for Keene State, looks like we'll be getting the middle of the order towards the end. We've got Bourget coming up, followed by Springfield and Sevigny. So far, out of that group, they've gotten a couple hits and a bunch of strikeouts, and we'll see which of those things we're looking for.
The 9th inning, the third baseman, number 7, Christian Bourget.
First pitch from Kinney. Ball outside. Bourget on the afternoon, 2 for 3. Had a nub single to the pitcher in the 2nd, clean single to right in the 4th, and a grounder to 3rd in the 6th. He's now taken 2 in a row for balls. So Kinney behind Bourget 2-0. Gets Bourget to swing, a high pop-up. They'll take a look as it sails beyond the backstop.
Kinney is coming into today with 7 appearances, actually 1 start appearance, which is interesting to see from someone coming in as a closer. He's pitched a total of 12 1/3 innings, and only has a 2.19 ERA. So he's been a successful, mostly successful pitcher so far this season.
He's behind 3-1 now. And Steep hill to climb, down 10-2, but Bourget is going to try and get on base. He lines one through the gap on the right side. That'll be a base hit. His third of the afternoon, and he's quietly had himself a day. Not sure what the bench looks like, but we're going to start to see. So we've got a pinch hitter now for Springfield. Michael Bailey, number 19, is coming up to pinch hit.
Bailey has appeared in 7 games only and has a 143 batting average, so has not been successful.
Took strike one.
But he's only had 7 at-bats, so he's come in as a pinch hitter 7 games and only gotten 1 hit out of that.
Well, he's fallen behind 0-2 without moving the bat, so he's not putting himself in a great position to add to that total. Keene perhaps a little less intimidated facing the novice. Gets one at about shin level. Can't get Bailey to bite. And Bourget, despite getting on base, we haven't seen him run too much, but he doesn't appear to be too big of a threat on the bases. Swing and a miss from Bailey. That's the first out in the 9th inning. So here comes Savigny.
The left fielder, number 32, David Savigny.
And on the day, he's 0 for 3. A strikeout and 2 pop-ups. Takes first pitch high for a ball. The win here, Jumbos would move to 15-2. Of course, it's a non-conference game. They'll resume their conference schedule next week, I believe. This one's put beyond the reach of Shackelford at short, so a single for Savigny, and Owls keep the line moving. Of course, as the Tufts dugout is pointing out, Kenny's 1 pitch away if he induces a ground ball. So to look ahead, Tufts will play next at home against Roger Williams Tuesday afternoon. PAC Network will cover that one. We are a student-run organization, so we'll probably be in class. As first pitch taken high by Rossi. And they'll start the conference schedule at Colby next weekend, playing Friday and doubleheader on Saturday. Here's a pitch. So on, popped into center. Fly it into center. Let's go with that. And the runners will stay where they are. So 2 away. And that'll bring up Rollins representing the last hope for the Owls. Rollins is responsible for all the offense today. Homered to left in the 5th inning. Drove in both runs on the board. Also struck out and flied to right. And once they're done with this, the Owls will be on the road at Fitchburg State on Wednesday, at Springfield Thursday, before returning home for a doubleheader against Western Connecticut on Saturday.
Owls really need some sort of big hit here to start generating momentum and getting more runs on the board, because right now they are not in great shape.
Here's the 1-0 coming up from Kinney. First and second, 2 out. Owls trail by 8. Ball taken for a strike. And it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Swung on way out ahead of it. Presumably a changeup.
Zach Rollins looked really lost on that swing. He swung out in front of him. Didn't seem to be close.
And here are the Owls down to their final strike. 10-2 Tufts, first and second, top of the ninth. 2 outs. 1-2 pitch. Grounded foul.
Dugout seems uncharacteristically quiet for potentially the last pitch of the game. Only a couple players, and they're picking it up a little bit as I said that.
Well, they can literally hear us. I'm not sure if they're trying, but we are within 4 feet of them. So another attempt at the 2-1. 1-2. Good call. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the ball game is over. 10-2. Fine pitching performance from Superco, who pitched 7 innings, gave up just the 2 runs, and 2 clean innings from Marchetti and Keene. Offense supplied in large part by a grand slam from Nachmanoff. And for the Owls, 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors on the game. For Tufts, 10 runs on 15 hits, also 2 errors, and a successful sweep of the weekend against both Leslie and Keene State.
Yeah, it's definitely a good game for the Jumbos. Keene State also had some good moments, but the errors early on were not good for either team, although they didn't result in runs. Definitely hurt the pride of each team a little bit. But in the end, the Jumbos had the big inning and came out on top.
Well, that's for sure. And the grand slam from knocked him off for him was his second of the season for him. So congratulations. A nice quick game. Just finishing up at not even 3:40 on the delayed start, about a 2.5-hour game. As we mentioned, next home game for Tufts is going to be Tuesday afternoon, and it's been a fine afternoon. I think we're going to need to get inside, perhaps get a little of that aloe vera. Meanwhile, across the way, it looks like the softball team is either won or on their way to winning their second game of the doubleheader. So a successful weekend in Tufts athletics. And, it's been a pleasure calling the game with you, Freddie.
It's certainly been fun.
Who knows whether we'll have another opportunity. But after, following through on that promise, I appreciate it. And, hope that, you continue even when I'm not here to pressure you to.
Well, I certainly have enjoyed my games in JumboCast, and I definitely see myself continuing at least some.
Awesome. And to all those folks at home who are, getting ready for the Jewish holiday, have a Chag Sameach. Eat up on all your bread and carbs tonight because it's going to be a long week. And, that'll about do it. Thanks for tuning in. And final score once more, 10-2. Tufts Jumbos over the Keene State Owls. And we'll catch you next time.